Hello and welcome to this new episode of Open Book Entrepreneur. Today we have Abbas Mohammed here with us all the way from sunny California. He's got a fantastic story. We were just talking in the green room before we started this recording, and he's been involved in sales in Remax, specifically like real estate agent. He became one of the top 15 in the country, and he was using. He had like a lot of virtual assistants working for him, and then it ended up like he now has a fantastic company that actually employs loads and loads of virtual assistants. So Abbas, please introduce yourself to our audience.
Tony, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited. Yeah, so just to kind of go over some background, I got started as a real estate agent back when I was 18. Within 4 years of doing that, I became top 50 in the country at the time with Remax. I was doing really well with it. But then at some point, I kind of got bored. I was already one of the top agents. Like I couldn't push for much more. And then I started investing in real estate, apartment complexes and things like that. And then about a year and a half ago, we started Remote Leverage. And what we do at Remote Leverage is we help US businesses hire virtual assistants from Latin America. And I'll tell you why Latin America in a little bit, but that business has been growing very, very rapidly. In fact, back in December of last year, we were doing 50,000 a month in revenue, and in August of this year, which is about 8 months later, we grew the business to 450,000 in revenue. So it's about a 900% growth in about 8 months or 7 months or whatever. And the reason that business has been growing so rapidly is because there's just, there's a lot of demand, but I've also learned a lot of things along the way on how to grow businesses that I was able to apply to this company.
So, what's one of the tips that you can share with our audience if they're looking to hire a virtual assistant?
It's interesting. I would say the first thing you want to do is you want to figure out what role do you actually need. I think one of the mistakes that people do all the time when they come to us is they are hiring for a role that we realize is not really their bottleneck in the business. Like sometimes people come in and they say, "Well, I want to hire an executive assistant." And it's like, "Okay, well, tell us a little bit about your business." And then as they tell us about their business, we realize that they don't actually need an executive assistant to handle paperwork or admin. They might need lead generation. They might need appointment setters. They might need salespeople. They might need whatever. Or sometimes they do actually need executive assistants. But the point is, what we do first is we try to kind of go through a consultation with them to figure out what is the true bottleneck and what is it that they really need help with and try to give them some advice. And the other thing I tell people is typically with VA agencies, they help you hire the cheapest people they can get. So they go to the Philippines, they go to India, which is, it's kind of nice, I guess, if you're looking for entry level people. But like at least in my company and what we recommend for our clients is don't try to hire entry level people because entry level people will waste a lot of your time. And so what we like to do is we like to hire from Latin America because they have significantly more experience. They've worked for much larger companies than the Filipino VAs have. And so like when you hire someone from Latin America, they come in with way more experience and then they can bring that experience to your business. And now all of a sudden your business is not a 1 year old business. Now you've got 15, 20 years of experience because of these people that you're bringing in. And so that's one of the reasons why we're able to grow remote leverage so quickly is we hired people from marketing, from sales, from other companies that have done what I wanted to do for decades. And so to get them in and then grow the business much larger was very, very easy because like they already knew what to do. I just had to let them do that in my business. And so that's one of the other things I highly recommend people is like don't go after the cheapest people, go after high quality, experienced, virtual assistants from Latin America. You're going to pay $6 to $10 per hour. It's a little more expensive per hour than the Philippines, which is kind of the average is about five, but you're going to get that quality and it will cost you more to not make more money than it is to pay the salaries, if that makes sense. Like I could save money on salaries, but then I wouldn't be making the amount of revenue that we make right now. And so that would be way more expensive in comparison to the salaries we pay.
Absolutely. And you mentioned obviously you had a lot of experience in sales and and investment as well. But what's one thing that actually, or a major thing that made a difference in your business and that helped you grow so fast?
I would say marketing more than anything. Marketing and having a great product, obviously, because you can market. you can market really well, but if your product is trash, people are going to cancel right away, and then you can't market anymore because you don't have the funds to market. So to me, the product is the number one. That is a given. I don't even need to say it. Like the product needs to be very, very good. People need to keep buying it. They need to keep using it. They need to leave you happy reviews. Like if you look us up, you will not find a single negative review from a client on anywhere on online about us. So that to me is very important, right? Having high reputation. But the other thing I would say is marketing, because a lot of times, if you have a great product but people don't know about it, then it doesn't really matter that you have a great product if nobody's using it. So to me, marketing is important. And the way I do the way we perform marketing is we just hire people from other companies that have done what we want. So if I want to grow on Facebook, for example, then I will hire people that have done Facebook for a decade for other companies that have helped other companies grow to the level I want. And then I just bring them into my business and I'll pay more, right? But I will make significantly more money by doing that. Like recently, we wanted to start doing Google ads. So I just went, found people that have done Google ads for a long time for other companies. I just hired her and she's already started and we're doing well with Google ads. Versus like back in the day, when I was a younger, entrepreneur, I would think, oh, let me go learn how to do Google ads. Let me go learn how to do Facebook. And that would take years and years of my time. And it's like,
And it
it's so
cost
inefficient.
a lot of
Yeah,
money.
a lot of money, that you burn versus like you bring someone in that knows what they're doing, they're going to know how to do it day one. And it's incredible.
Okay, yeah, I mean that's really sort of a great strategy, and that's really valuable if a company has a lot of cash. But what about if somebody is a startup and maybe they don't have as much cash to hire a top talent? Like, what do you recommend? How they overcome this issue?
Yeah, so get honestly, in my opinion, you want to as quickly as possible get some sort of revenue coming in the door. Like for me, I didn't start hiring these more expensive roles up until we started getting to about, 15, $20,000 a month. And I did a lot of that myself, basically. I was working double time. I got us to about 15, 20,000 a month. And then I started hiring right away. I started, going after more entry level roles. And then when I got to 30,000 a month, that's when I started going after more expensive roles. What that meant, Tony, when I was doing that is I completely erased our profits, basically. I spent all of our profits on hiring. However, because I did that, we were able to go much larger, much quicker, and then I was able to get much larger profits as a result. So sometimes you just have to give up your profit margin at the beginning so that you can build a team, and then the team can get you way more profits in the future.
Yeah, definitely. When you're able to build the right team, but obviously that's something your company can help with. And so what about like what's one major thing that really helped you find right people when you were
Yeah.
building up and starting the company?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, there's so many different things, and that's one of the things we tell our clients is that you can't afford to do this on your own because you will make so many mistakes over so many years that we've made, that we've learned from, that I don't want you to make. Because if you hire the wrong person and you're still kind of from the earlier stages, for example, that one person could completely kill your company because that might be all the money that you had to invest in hiring. And then if that turns out to be the wrong hire, now you've lost your money essentially. So we're very big on a lot of different things, but the number one thing is we want them to, when they apply to us, we want them to speak very fluent English, right? Fluent English, little to no accents, because we want clear communication, right? Just because they're virtual assistants doesn't mean that they shouldn't speak clear English. So that's number one. The other thing is skills. People say hire for character and everything, which is great. And I get that. But at the same time, I can hire a nice person. But if they don't know how to run ads, what uses that nice person to my business when I'm trying to run ads and get more customers, right? So we really focus on skills. Whatever skill set I'm trying to hire for, I want to see multiple years of experience and I want to see them having done it at another company. And I want to see that they were a major contributor to that company's growth in that specific skill. So if I'm hiring, say, a marketer, I want to see that they were the head of marketing or whatever at that other company. So then it's like when I hire them in-house, they weren't just some person, doing a little side activity that didn't matter to the company. They were a major point of contact for whatever that position is. And then, obviously, then after that, we look at character, right? We want them to be honest people, decent, all of that. But to me, it's like skills are way more important. They have to have good skills, you know?
Totally, yeah, I agree 100%. And then on top of that, like if someone wants to actually learn more about you or find out more about your company, how they can do that?
Yeah, 100%. So they can go on our website, remoteleverage.com. And just to give you like a brief overview of how we work, you come to us, you speak with somebody that does a consultation, tell them exactly what you need, and tell them about your business, and then they will kind of show you samples of potential applicants you could hire. So they'll show you samples, voice recordings, resumes, and all of that. And then if you want to move forward, the way we do it is you put down a deposit. It's 100% refundable. You put down a deposit, and then we start the recruiting process for you. After you start the recruiting process, you meet 4 to 6 applicants that we bring you that are highly qualified, that meet all of the requirements, that are skilled and everything. And then after you meet them, if you decide to hire one of them, then we charge you our fee. If you don't decide to hire anybody, you get your $500 back and then you move on. So it's 100% risk free. And then if you do hire someone, we give you a 6 month guarantee that they will be good. If for whatever reason you decide, look, this person isn't as good as I thought, or you want to replace them, you just come back, we replace them for free, 100%.
Very nice. Yeah, that's a really straightforward offer. Just before we go, any other final thoughts for our audience from you, Abbas?
Yeah, honestly, Tony, I would say the thing that slowed me down the most was not hiring sooner. Every time I hire more roles, I'm like, God, I wish I would have done it sooner because you bring in these people, they bring in years of experience that would cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars had I had to learn it myself. So I would say the number one thing is hop on a call, see if you're in a position to hire right now and see if the role you're trying to hire for could actually help your company or not. So just go on the website, remoteleverage.com. You can book a consultation right there.
Definitely. I'll leave the link in the description of this episode so anyone watching us can check out the link. And on top of that, if you guys have any questions for Abbas or me, please leave them in the comments and we'll be happy to answer them. Yeah, if you like this episode, drop us a like, subscribe, and see you all in the next episode. All the best. And Abbas, thanks a lot for sharing your knowledge, experience, and tips. See you
Absolutely.
all in
Thank you
the,
for
yeah,
having me.
wonderful. See you all in the next episode. Bye bye.